Hi, everybody. My name is Lisa Carpenter, and I'm a wedding photographer in Greenville, South Carolina. And for those of you that I know already, or have worked with, or have had some sort of communication with through Facebook, which I have met some pretty amazing people through Facebook, hello again. Today, I wanted to do a video post about a topic that seems to really raise a lot of questions, concern, but excitement, just worry, you name it, it kind of comes as a big package of questions, and that's the first look. So, yes, this is actually geared towards brides, grooms, their families, people that are getting married soon or even next year or whenever, really. And also, too, this, if you're not getting married and you know somebody that is, that this might be of assistance to them, please share it. So, the reason that I'm bringing this up again, because I actually did a video post on this last year, and thank you to those who let me know it was helpful and that they shared it with others. The reason I'm doing it again is because I've had back-to-back consultations here recently with new brides, grooms, and their families, and there have been quite a few people that have not heard of the first look, or if they have, they just really don't know a whole lot about what it is, and so they're too afraid to consider it. And so I will always bring up that topic just to make sure that, number one, it isn't something that they're already expecting to do, or if I feel like it can enhance their day. So, the first look is when the bride and groom see each other prior to the ceremony, which is not their traditional way of doing things, but it by no means that you're having any less of an incredible experience for the two of you, and that you're going to end up, walking away from something that makes you feel almost lackluster, because I don't know what bride does not dream of that first moment when her soon-to-be husband sees her for the first time. So this isn't something that is going to take away from one of the biggest days of your lives. If anything, I've heard that it enhances it. So really quick, I want to go over a few things that are more technical reasons why you might want to consider a first look. And I call them technical because these are reasons that are non-emotional reasons. Okay, they're just basically things that can happen throughout the day, or reasons why you might want to consider it. One of them is if you are getting married late in the year or early in the year and we still have daylight savings time, you know that by 5:30, 5:45, 6 o'clock, it's going to be pretty dark. If you have a 5 o'clock wedding, we are going to be running into issues with natural light outside before we get pictures of the two of you and your full wedding party. That's not a problem because I can take pictures in any kind of lighting, but if pictures in natural light is important to you, then I would encourage you to consider doing the first look. This is probably the one reason that I will probably encourage my brides more than any other one to consider it, okay? The other reason is that if you have a long distance between your ceremony location and your reception location, I've had some that have had a travel time upwards of 45 minutes to an hour and a half. That's a long way, and it's not a problem, but if we're going to be doing pictures either where the ceremony location was or when we get to where the reception location is, sometimes I've even had brides that have wanted to do both. We need to work that into the timeline and be really efficient with our time. If we do a first look, then we can just after the ceremony head right to the reception. Another reason is that if you have a church that does not allow photographers to come in during the ceremony at all, or have very limited, you're limited as far as what you can do. Maybe that's when the doors first open, when the bride is being seen, you can take a quick photo and then you have to be back outside. Outside weddings, not so much. It's not really a big deal, but with churches that can become a problem. Another reason, not a huge reason, but something worth mentioning, if you have a really large wedding party, you're going to, we want to get those individual photos, each bridesmaid with the bride, each groomsman with the groom, because, you're inviting them to be a part of something that's very important to you, and I think it's great to have those individual pictures together. It's not a huge time constraint, or time sucker, I should say, but it does add to the shooting time before we get to the reception. And I will always say this, I will do whatever I can to get you to the reception as quick as possible, because I'm always aware and cognizant of the fact that they are excited to see you and get this party started. So, you don't want to keep them waiting too terribly long. But again, we still want to make sure we get those pictures. So those are really the technical reasons why you want to consider the first look. Now, the emotional reason to me is really the important one, because most of my brides and grooms want to know, so other than technical, why should we do this? And the reason I'm also going to mention this too is that I will not push somebody into a first look because it benefits me as the photographer. In other words, like, oh my gosh, I can get more creative shots that way, or it works into the timeline better for me. I don't know how to shoot in the dark. That's not it. That's not it at all. And that's not why I would ever encourage anybody to consider that. I am there to guide you the best that I can through one of the biggest days of your lives and capture those moments every step of the way and give you a great experience. And it would just kill me if I knew that I talked you into something to benefit me or that would make you unhappy, because I really want this to be a good thing. So getting to the emotional reason, because I have a tendency to kind of veer off topic all the time. Anybody that knows me knows that my brain goes two different directions half the time. But anyway, emotional reason. You have to think about when you are doing it traditionally. Let's say you're doing it in a church. The door is closed just before the bride's ready to walk down the aisle. They open up the door. Everybody turns to look at the bride. Think, oh my gosh, look how beautiful she is. Look at her gown. She's so, so excited. Then they quickly look back over to the groom to see what his reaction is. That's just normal, and I've seen it at every wedding. And which also brings me to something that I'm going to say before I forget. I had a bride recently ask me, if they do the first look, won't that make his reaction less kind of exciting, and people will be like, oh my gosh, is he not excited to see her? Does he not think she looks amazing? I have never seen that happen. Again, I have only had positive feedback from this, and I don't know how your groom would not be so incredibly excited to see his future wife walking down the aisle towards him. It's still an incredible moment, and I don't feel that the first look takes that away. So okay, so back on track, when we were talking about walking down the aisle and everybody quickly looks at the groom. Some people, that makes them very nervous, very anxious, because they realize everybody's going to be looking at them, and they feel like, oh my gosh, if I don't have the right reaction, or if I react differently than maybe somebody else would, that doesn't mean that I don't think she looks amazing. That's just I react differently. Some people get very anxious about that, and that is something that doing the first look, I feel, has helped both the bride and the groom get rid of some anxiety, some nerves. It allows them to calm down, enjoy that ceremony even more. So that's one thing. The other thing is that you get that quiet time together. You get to say maybe a prayer together. You get to just be quiet and hug and say how beautiful and how handsome you are and how excited you are for the day. It's not rushed, because when you walk down that aisle, you are then moving straight into your vows, and then from your vows you're going to pictures, and then from there you're going to your reception. And not to say that the traditional way is not amazing. It is. I'm just saying that those are some things that some people have had some concerns about. So, and that actually is a benefit, that you do get that quiet time together before the rest of the day gets going. So you get that time to just get those nerves out. Some men even tell me that they've been more emotional when they do the first look, that it's just really an incredible time. Myself and my other photographer are capturing those moments as they unfold. So how we set that up is that I will scout out a location that has beautiful lighting, privacy, and the best backdrop that we can find. And myself and my second photographer will place ourselves so that if the groom's back is facing to the bride and she walks up to him, taps him on the shoulder, or he turns around just before she gets to him, we're there to capture those moments kind of off in the bushes somewhere. I've even had it where a bride has had her back to the groom. There's no right or wrong way. It's whatever way you prefer. Both of them are just incredibly special. So there's no right or wrong way on that. And once I feel that you have gotten those first few moments and we've captured a lot of that from two different angles, two different points of view, then I will get you, I will move into the more guided poses. And then from there, then we'll go into wedding party photos and get pretty much most of everything done. The reason that I like to do pictures, the first look, in an area that is a little bit more private, some guests show up incredibly early, and most of my brides don't want to still be seen by their guests, even though they're doing the first look. They want that to be a surprise. So again, I'm always aware of that. Should some guests arrive, then we'll make it so we kind of even, like, I don't know, make a human curtain, or I've had an umbrella or something where we can shield the bride before everybody sees her during the ceremony time. So those are emotional reasons why. That's how the first look is set up. It's an incredible experience. It's not for everybody, and that again is okay. But this is a topic that I do get a lot of questions about. I thought maybe a video post might help get my point across without just using words and pictures. Sometimes someone just needs to hear the whys and the hows and the benefits, if there's any drawbacks. I have yet to see a drawback happen from a first look. I've even met with family members just to let them know that, I've had a grandmother one time say, you know what, I didn't grow up having this done. I need you to tell me why I should be okay with this. And I'm completely fine explaining that to anybody. Again, the bottom line is that decision is yours. And I want everybody happy that day, and I just want to have something that gives you an incredible experience. And again, I'm just there to capture those moments as we go through the entire day. So I hope that answered some questions that you might have about the first look. If you have any additional questions, let me know. I'm always happy to answer them. And if you know of somebody that's getting married that this might help, share it with them. If you have a topic that you want to have covered in the future, let me know. I will do these video posts as long as you can tolerate my blinking. For some reason, I can speak just fine in front of a large crowd of people, whether it's I'm teaching something or speaking or whatever, guiding weddings. But boy, I tell you, I feel like I blink nonstop when I'm looking at a video camera. So if you can tolerate that, I am always happy to share my thoughts with you. And again, I just hope this helps out. So have a great day, everybody. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to hearing from you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.